She has endured a traumatic 2 years in London, including an acrimonious £5.5 billion divorce battle and the firebombing of her home. Now Formula One heiress Petra Ecclestone has decided to quit the UK and is selling her £30 million home in the capital to start a new life in Los Angeles. The couple have been dating for 5 months. Meanwhile, the Belgravia mansion she shared with former husband James Stunt was put up for sale last week. In an interview with the Mail on Sunday's You magazine, Petra speaks for the first time about life after her bitter divorce and the struggles of being a single mother, albeit an incredibly wealthy one. The youngest daughter of former F1 tycoon Bernie says, "It's been a bad year, but it's getting better. Once you have kids, there's no option but to be strong. You can't feel sorry for yourself, you just have to do what's right for them. I thought I wasn't the type who believed in divorce. I got married thinking I would be with that person for the rest of my life. But things happen for a reason." Details of her 6-year marriage were laid bare during a divorce hearing last year, including allegations that gold bullion trader Stunt, 36, was abusive, violent, and took overdoses, which he denies. Last month Petra was stunned when Stunt branded her a horrible human being and her father a dwarf in a magazine interview. A source close to Petra said, "She is much happier in LA. She lives a much nicer life and has lots of friends over there. She's really excited to be relocating in London. She really only has her sister Tamara and her family. She is very tough, but her divorce really took it out of her. Now she's looking forward to a new start and looking to go very, very soon. There are a few practical issues to sort out. But when you're as wealthy as she is, these things don't take long. She and Sam are blissfully happy and are looking to make their future a joyful one." The manor, said to be the largest private home in California, has 123 rooms, including 3 for wrapping presents. However, in her bid to erase bad memories of her marriage, Petra still has plans to sell the Beverley Hills property. The house, valued at £160 million, has been on the market for a year. "I didn't believe in divorce," heiress Petra Ecclestone's first interview since her multi-billion-pound breakup. In her first interview since her acrimonious divorce was finalized, Petra Ecclestone opens up about being a single mother, the personal heartache behind her new charity venture, and why life isn't panning out quite how she expected. Petra Ecclestone, daughter of former Formula One billionaire Bernie, looks every inch the spoiled daddy's girl as she arrives at the Swiss Chelsea gym where we've arranged to meet in a convoy of black Range Rovers, one for her, one for the bodyguards, with personalized number plates. She may be in the mum uniform of hoodie and leggings, but the former is clearly designer and the latter are edgy PVC. Thick blonde locks tumble over her shoulders and her fingers, decorated with henna tattoos, are enhanced by inch-long nails and stacks of diamonds. Yet, as soon as she starts talking, I find myself warming to Petra, who comes across as controlled but friendly, with an appealingly dry sense of humor. She's certainly a far more understated figure than her elder sister Tamara, whose reality show Tamara's World treated viewers to glimpses of her 57-room mansion containing a 3-story soft play area, which reportedly cost £50,000 for her 4-year-old daughter Sophia. "I get asked to do that kind of program all the time, but they're just not me," Petra says. "I find the idea quite cheesy." At only 29, Petra, now the single mother of Lavinia, 5, and 2-year-old twins James and Andrew after her divorce from her husband of 6 years James Stunt, has founded 2 fashion lines and supported meningitis charities. At 14 she nearly died from viral meningitis. She has funded cards for new mothers informing them about symptoms, and a campaign to raise awareness among students who are more vulnerable to the condition. Now she's throwing herself into a new project, Petra's Place, a center that is due to open in July near her London home to provide treatment for young children with autism and other developmental disorders. It's to Petra's credit that she has found time for the center, given the challenges of the past couple of years. In 2016, her stepmother's mother was kidnapped and threatened with decapitation in Brazil. She was rescued. Her brother-in-law Lee Stone died of an accidental drug overdose, and her £100 million Chelsea home was attacked with a petrol bomb. That was quite dramatic. Things like that normally don't happen in Chelsea. We're not in Baghdad, Petra says in her soft mid-Atlantic tones. Luckily we were at our home in Los Angeles because it exploded literally outside my boy's window. Then, last year, news emerged of her acrimonious divorce from entrepreneur James, 36, whom she'd married in a £12 million ceremony in Rome. Not even Bernie, 87, deemed excessive. The couple, who had been together since she was 18, split amid allegations of James' drug-taking and abusive and violent behavior, which he denies. Bernie had already revealed how during a row his son-in-law had threatened to blow her head off. James was ordered by a judge to leave the family home, while Petra was granted sole custody of the children. Since then he has hit back with digs about his ex and her family, calling 5'2" and Bernie a dwarf, his ex-wife Slavica Lady Macbeth, and Petra a C-list celebrity's daughter. The Ecclestones jumped to Petra's defense, with Bernie saying that he felt sorry for him. More angrily, Tamara announced, "Unless he stops telling lies about my family, we will have to start telling the truth about him." Petra won't comment on the infighting and manages to avoid even using her ex's name during our interview, but her calm aura is one of someone who is relieved to have moved on. "It's been a bad year," she says, "but it's getting better. Once you have kids there's no option but to be strong. You can't feel sorry for yourself. You just have to do what's right for them." Since late last year, Petra has been photographed with Sam Palmer, a vintage car dealer who is friends with 33-year-old Tamara's husband Jay Rutland. "It's very early on dating," she says. "The whole thing is quite strange because my life didn't pan out the way I expected it to. I thought I wasn't the type who believed in divorce. I go to church and I got married thinking I would be with that person for the rest of my life. But things happen for a reason, and whatever that reason is, I've now got my 3 kids." It's easy to roll your eyes when one of the wealthiest women on the planet tells you how exhausting her children are. But there's no doubt that Petra is a hands-on mother. She only employed a nanny whom she prefers to call an extra pair of hands. "I don't like the idea of nannies. I'm too much of a control freak." After the twins were born 8 weeks premature and were in hospital a lot, "Being a single mother is hard," she continues. "There's no day off. You can't take your eyes off them. It's draining. Things like going on holiday are tough. Last week we were in Dubai and I had a nanny, but it's not the same. You're not a family." Tamara was also there, yes, but she was preoccupied with Sophia, so she wasn't much help. Petra laughs. She's up with the children every morning at 6 a.m. does the school and nursery run, then after meetings and possibly exercise returns to nursery for a noon pickup. "Basically I'm a chauffeur." She smiles ruefully. "At night," she says, "I've got into a rut of collapsing and watching TV in bed. I have to force myself to go out. When I actually do it I feel great." In that spirit, she's putting her all into Petra's place. "My mum says you don't have time to be dealing with this, but when you have kids you're in such a bubble. And I feel I want to use my brain to focus on something else. I want the kids to be proud of me, to know that their granddad was really successful but that their mum made a difference." The idea for the center came to her from her experiences with Lavinia, who was slow to start talking. "It was so hard. She was 3 and had never heard her say mama. That's heartbreaking," she says. At the time, Petra and James were living in Los Angeles in their 123-room house, The Manor, which they bought for £61 million in 2011. "We saw several speech therapists, so we had some intervention before Lavinia reached the age of 2. At that point we had to move back to London, where I was shocked at how few services they had for families. I'm lucky I can pay for the best doctors, but even then they didn't really offer that much support." Eventually Lavinia was diagnosed with global developmental delay, the term used for children who take longer than their peers to reach certain developmental milestones. "She's doing okay. She has had to learn how to position her tongue when she talks. It's so hard with parenting. It's like a competition with other people saying, 'My child can talk better or read more,' wanting more children to be able to access such help. Petra approached various doctors about setting up a center. Did they not dismiss her as a ditzy heiress? No, they were excited. It's so hard here even to get a diagnosis for autism at a young age, and while you're on the waiting list, you're missing a crucial window. Indeed. The center, funded largely by her charity, the Petra Ecclestone Foundation, boasts an impressive advisory team. Headed by Professor Simon Baron-Cohen, the director of Cambridge University's Autism Research Center. Each year it hopes to cater for 96 children aged between 18 months and 4 years. 80% of whom will be selected by Petra's local council, Kensington and Chelsea, the remainder being private patients. The plan is to roll out a group of centers nationwide. The advisory board for Petra's Place, headed by Professor Simon Baron-Cohen, explains how common is autism in the UK. Autism is diagnosed in 1 in 100 children. Why do we need early intervention services? For autism in the UK, autism is partly genetic and how a child's brain is wired from before birth and during development. But if a child receives early intervention, they can learn to socialize and communicate more easily, cope better in a world they otherwise find overwhelming, and become less anxious, so that they can fulfill their potential. What does early intervention for autism involve? The best therapy centers offer a range of approaches. These might include speech and occupational therapies, the arts, music, art and drama, fun activities, cooking, play, and family therapy for parents. What are the signs of autism in young children? Not making eye contact, very rigid behavior, and not showing reciprocal social action, such as taking turns in play. But none of these are diagnostic. Concerned parents should discuss with their GP, who can decide if the child needs a full assessment. Early intervention for autism is a hot potato, not least because many in the community are fighting for acceptance and dislike the idea that their condition can be trained. Out of them, is Petra, who is promoting World Autism Awareness Week, ready for flack? I am, with anything to do with parenting. People have some sort of opinion, she says. She doesn't look worried. There's a low-key but steely confidence to Petra, who turned down a place at the prestigious Central St. Martin's Art School to launch her menswear brand Form, only for it to fold 2 years later. It was really hard to make a success of a smaller brand, she says with candor. I probably could have gone begging to my dad for more money, but I have some dignity. She later launched a handbag line, Stark, which she dissolved this year after it ran up debts of more than £4 million. But then I got pregnant and I wanted to give 100% to Lavinia. I didn't see the point in having a business just for the sake of having a business. Soon she is hoping to relocate the family to LA, lured by warmer weather and what she thinks is a less pressured atmosphere for children to grow up in. But then again, my family and friends are here, she sighs. She has tried to persuade Tamara's family to move with her, but she wants Sophia to have an English education. Growing up, she says, the sisters fought constantly, but now are really close, with Sophia and Lavinia seeing each other virtually every day. Tamara has announced she will breastfeed Sophia, with whom she still shares a bed, for as long as possible. Petra chuckles wryly. Before she had Sophia she was like, why would you breastfeed? Just leave the baby at home with a nanny. Go out and have a life. I said you can't judge until you've been in that position. I breastfed the twins until they were 2. But then they didn't want it anymore. At the time I was heartbroken. Looking back, it's pathetic. Describe yourself in 3 words. Funny, sensitive, caring. What makes you laugh? My kids. Style icons Gigi and Bella Hadid. Relaxed but edgy. Favorite feel-good song? Any 80s music. Reading about how to get your child to sleep through the night. Lavinia still sleeps in my bed. Last film you saw? A movie about Jeffrey Dahmer. I really like serial killer movies. Favorite food? Spaghetti with tomato sauce. Pizza. Chinese. Nothing healthy. Beauty essentials. Dr. Barbara Sturm face cream. Olaplex for my hair. Dr. Paw Paw lip balm. What's in your bag? My purse, phone, lip balm and sunglasses. Breakfast of choice. Cocoa Pops. I have the world's worst diet. On your bedside table. Vitamins, water, phone charger. Last thing you do before going to sleep? Floss and watch TV. Motto: live for today and don't think about Tomorrow, what would surprise people about you? People think I'm arrogant, but it's mostly shyness. Your perfect day on weekends. Go to the park. Take the boys to the London Aquarium. Go for a nice lunch. Take the kids to the movies when they are at school. Being at home, having some peace and quiet. She is staunchly non-judgmental of her sister, even though their approaches to life are very different. Tamara parades her family life on television and social media, while Petra has a private Instagram account. The idea that other people can see your kids freaks me out. There are so many sick people in this world, but I don't talk to Tamara about it. Would only have an argument. The sisters are devoted to their mother Slavica. 59. A Croatian former model and daughter of a market trader. Petra says she feels more Croatian than English. Who famously eschewed having a nanny and did all the washing up herself. I've no problem with having a dishwasher. Petra laughs, having divorced Bernie 9 years ago. Today Slavica lives in Switzerland, but we see her all the time. She's so good with the kids and is the only person I completely trust with them. Bernie, she says, is besotted with the twins, his first grandsons. He's fascinated by them. They have quite similar personalities to him. You see such happiness in him because of them, Petra says. She doesn't talk about her father's second wife, Brazilian Grand Prix marketing executive Fabiana Flossi, who is 46 years his junior. But when discussing the difference between sons and daughters, she remarks tellingly, boys are much less independent than girls. Men can't really care for themselves. A man always remarries or finds a new girlfriend as soon as possible. Whereas a single woman just gets on with it and sorts herself out. Still, Petra is definitely not ruling out future romance for herself. She would like eventually, she says, to have more children. Right now the process is so overwhelming. But it has always been my dream to adopt, so maybe I will in the next 5 or 6 years. You never know. If you're in love, I guess it's unfair not to give a partner a child of their own. But first I'd like to be able to breathe a bit and have a shower on my own. She's planning to mark her 30th birthday in December with a huge 1980s themed bash. Maybe in my 30s I can have my life semi-back, she muses. Maybe I'll have a midlife crisis and start dancing on tables. With that Ecclestone drive embedded in Petra's DNA. I somehow doubt it. For more information on Petra's Place, visit petrasplace.co.uk. World Autism Awareness Week runs from March 2, 26 April. Autism.org UK styling, CM Ayachi. Makeup, Load DS using Lancome. Hair, Harry Casey using Kerastase. Producer, Esther Malloy.